Okay, so that's working. Now what I want is for me, when I click on one of these, to actually put it back here. Now keep in mind that we are not actually removing the image behind, we're just putting an opaque box on top here. So all I need to do is make sure that I don't show the internal, I don't fill in this on the particular thing. So we need to do a redraw whenever we select an item. So I just need to know which item was selected. The the index of the selected items. Now these are in order because this is 0, this is 1, and so on. So we can easily check out which one it was by just counting the content in here and then getting the one that we need, right? What would be the alternative? An alternative we can do is to save the images, because we are not really saving these images right now. We're just putting them inside image tags there. So maybe what we can do is, so you see this selections thing, we can create one for images so that we store those images in there for later. So where did we declare selections anyway? Wait, I can't see it anywhere. That's weird. Okay, let me try and find the declaration of this one. I can't remember. Okay, so there it is right there. So there's selections here. Let's put one for images, right? Maybe these are selected images, right? So maybe we can go selected underscore images, just so you know exactly what it is. So I'm gonna copy that, and let's go here where we, as you can see, we are sending the image, the data URL to the source here. And I want to do exactly the same thing here. So I'm gonna do images, and in there I'm gonna do images.length, and then is equal to this right here, canvas to and data URL right there, like so. So we're adding the images data into this array there. Now the thing is, this is the memory location in this array where I'm putting it. So I can use this length value to add an actual ID on this image here. That way I can use that ID anytime. So what I'm going to do is, let's say I'll put this later. That's fine, so that I can actually add, in fact, I didn't need to do that. All I need to do is add an attribute to the image. So we create the image here, quite all right. But then we can say img.setAttribute. Now we're going to set an attribute called ID. I can easily just say .id and it will probably work, but let's just do that. And the value is that number there, like so. So we should be able to see an ID of its location, of each image location in the array. That way we can use that to determine which one to omit when we are doing our thing. So here, if I come back to the top, so just like we have this, I can have another variable called selected image. Let me set that to, let's say, null, because we don't want it to be 0. 0 is a valid, it means it's the first one, but let's set it to null. And then when we do something, let's say we select an image, Now also at the same time, if when we do the selection we are not selecting an actual image, then let's remove that selection, right? So on this one we're just gonna remove the selection. But here, how do we set the selection? So at this point I'm just gonna say wait a minute, we grab all of that, it's e.target. Okay, so right here I'm gonna say, oops, sorry, what did I do? I'm gonna say selected image is equal to this right here, .id. So I can say .id like that, or I can say .get attribute and then specify the ID like this. I think this is a better way to learn to do things, using the get attribute and set attribute. I kind of like this a little bit better. All right, so then in here, selected image should be equal to null, again like that, because here we're removing the selection, here we're adding a selection. And then on this one we remove, when nothing is selected, we just make sure that we remove, let's see, target, blah blah blah. Yep, we remove all classes, selection classes there. All right, so now since we know that this will be the number of the selected item, we can go up here on the redraw function. So as you can see with the redraw function, we draw two things here. First of all, we draw a fill rectangle, and then we draw a stroke rectangle. So if we want the insides of that rectangle to show, we won't draw the fill, we just draw a stroke. So what we're going to do in the redraw here, we're going to put a condition on the fill rect. So here we're going to say if selected image is a thing, then if selected image and let's see here, let's see, I is equal to selected image. So if we get to the actual selected image, we should not show this one. So yeah, so we need the opposite of this right there. So what I'm going to say is if not selected image or now this is not gonna work. I need to negate this. So what I can do is let me put this in a double thing here and then just put an exclamation point at the end here. So it just says whatever is in here, when both of these are true, when this result is true, then just make it false, and when it's false, make it true. So let's see here if there's no actual selection. So this will be false, right? So if this is false and we have an and, then it means the whole thing is false, and then here it will be true because we're negating that, so it will run. But if let's say this is true, there's a number here, okay, great, that's true, and I is equal to that number. Now if it hasn't reached yet, this will be false. Okay, so it's gonna work out just fine. And the last thing here, let's see, what else do we need? We need a redraw function every time we say select image, so then we need a redraw function. So we're gonna do redraw over here like so. Okay, so great, I think things are happening. So let me refresh this and let's load our image. And here I'm gonna click and drag and let's say save. Click and drag and let's save. Now let's select one of these, and as you can see there, it actually shows us what's happening under each one of those images. That way, in case you forgot what's under there, you can actually see it again. So let me save there and there as well, like so. Yeah, now I can go through all of these by just selecting one, and there we go. All right, so looking great so far. The only thing remaining now is to actually save this entire game here. We should probably put another input here for the question, because it's good to have a question and say fill in the blanks or do something, drag and drop, just some form of instruction to the one playing the game, or if this is a teaching aid, at least there should be an exam or a question or some instruction of some kind. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.